So, one of the things that happens when you listen to your intuition and you listen to your guides and loved ones on the other side is you get told, do this right now. So, I just did a whole message about my best friend Lisa and my experience with talking to the other side and how loud it has been for my dad that I need to talk about that. Well, now I need to talk about the day that my mom died. And I guess it goes again with knowing an intuition, there's all the clairs, clairaudient, clairsentient, I can't even name them all. But you just have a knowing. And the day that my mom was dying was one of those experiences that, because I had lost Lisa, I was ready for my mom to go. I wanted her to go while she still had somewhat of her senses about her because she had dementia. And I didn't want her to have to go back to the nursing home that I had to put her in for care because of the dementia. So I was ready for her to go. I knew she was ready to go. I knew she was tired. I got 3 beautiful days with her. She went into the hospital. She had hurt herself. I think she had fallen. She had gotten COVID, and then COVID didn't kill her, which was shocking to us because she had smoked her whole life, so she already had a lot of lung damage. But what it did do is it made her very weak. So before she had COVID, a lot of people just thought she was a visitor at the nursing home because she was so healthy and just bebopping around the whole place. But when she got COVID, it slowed her down and she was a lot more weak and she would fall. And apparently she had fallen, and I don't know if somebody didn't know because she got herself back up. I'm not really sure. But they were doing some kind of therapy with her, and because of her dementia and she fell, she forgot she'd hurt herself, right? So when they did it, she was like, ow. And so they looked and she had a huge bruise, and then they checked her blood pressure and it was just bad. So they sent her to the emergency room. And of course, because it was COVID, they were real strict about coming to the hospital and all the rules. And it was not a great experience because for me, I was very blessed to get to be with her. But unfortunately, they would not let my sister come into the room until the very last day. And so anyway, when I saw my mom in the hospital, when I first got there, she literally looked like she was dying. And it was so weird because she recognized me and we started talking, and she literally came back to life for 3 days. I had 3 beautiful days with my mom. We laughed, we joked, we watched Masked Singer. We watched The Masked Singer. She's like, what is this show? And she was so intrigued. And then we watched Dr. Phil, something about hoarding. And I brought her, she loved sweets. So I bought her this whole thing of lemon sweet cupcake things. I brought her flowers. I got her McDonald's. She ate the heck out of the McDonald's. Like, we just had some really beautiful time together. And I didn't realize that she was going to die. It was kind of shocking because she had come back to life. And the nurse even said to me, she's like, I literally thought she was going to not make it through the night last night. She has done a complete 360. And they were talking about releasing her. And it was Thanksgiving of 2020. And they called me, and I was getting ready to go up to the hospital anyway, but they called me and they're like, we need to put your mom on morphine. She's not doing well. And I'm like, what? We were just sitting up and laughing last night. Like, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, she's taking a turn for the worse. And I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. And so that day, my sister and I went up to the hospital, and they had started giving her morphine because she was very restless and she was very uncomfortable. She was gasping for air a lot, and her lungs basically were just giving out. And we had to leave every time they gave her breathing treatment because the chemicals and stuff. So we would have to leave. I think it was like an hour and 30 minutes or something. And so we had been with her all morning, and then she was having a breathing treatment. So we had to leave, and then we went back. And while we were there, it's like she was like, I need you guys to be gone. Like, I'm ready. I need you to be gone. It was clear. It was very clear to me. She did not want us there. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, how am I going to tell my sister this? My sister's going to think I'm nuts. And it was hard to watch because she was gasping for air, and it was just really, really hard to watch. And the thought of watching her take her last breath was not something that I really wanted to do in the first place. But this feeling that she did not want us there was very loud. And so she was having another breathing treatment. My sister and I went out, and they were real picky about being anywhere in the hospital. Like, you had to come in and out, masks and all the things. And so we went out and we sat in this little sitting area for like 3 minutes before they told us we had to get up because of COVID. And I looked at my sister and I said, she doesn't want us here. She's not going to die while we're here. And my sister was like, I know. And I was like, oh, okay. Wow. So that went beautiful. We both just knew that that's what she wanted. And so we kind of knew before we left that was going to be the last time we were going to see her. And again, she was on morphine, so she wasn't really alert or awake, but we just knew. And sure enough, that evening she died. And I do remember the first break that we took. I was writing her a letter, and I was talking to her, and I was hysterically crying, and I was like, Mom, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay for you to go. I know you're tired, and I know you're ready, and look, I'm getting emotional. And so I knew that would be the last time I saw her. But the thing about death is, it's really a beautiful thing if you can realize that they are so much happier and so much better off on the other side. And just last night, as a matter of fact, I got a reading with some other mediums, and it was just like a little group thing, and my mom came through. And even though I can hear my mom and my dad and Lisa pretty well, sometimes maybe I'm not listening, maybe I'm not paying attention. And I got a lovely message from my mom just yesterday, and she wanted me to know I was her sunshine, and that she loved me a whole lot. So it was really beautiful. She's come through a few times, and she always calls me her sunshine. And it's funny because I think I've said before, she didn't really want me. And so last night, she wanted me to know that she did want me. She wanted me to know that she wanted me and that I was her sunshine, and that she's very proud of me. And so I guess I won't be talking about the fact I don't think she wanted me. I think that maybe what happened is she wasn't planning on getting pregnant, but she did because I was meant to come here. And I picked her and my dad to be my parents. They weren't planning on it, and they loved me the best they could anyway. And here I am doing all these things, getting on social media and talking to people on the other side and trying to be a light for others, to inspire them through the very difficult times, because I have personally experienced them and I survived them. And it's nice to have hope when you see someone else that's gone through really horrible things or hard things, and they come out on the other side realizing that everything happened for a reason, and they find the beauty in all of it. I'm going to leave that here. More to come.